Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. 2 games, conference semifinals kicking off on Monday here. Going to be going over the first game of the night on Monday with the Celtics and the Knicks here, getting into the insights, matchups, everything you need to know from the regular season, stuff that will help us here in the playoffs especially. Also have another episode up for Monday with the other game, the later game from the Western Conference, got the Nuggets and the Thunder. 2 awesome series, man. Really looking forward to both of these. But make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Check out the other episode, bringing you episodes for each of these games moving forward throughout the rest of these playoffs. Had a really good day here on Monday. B-Pods, man. He ruined what would have been about a 6-7 unit day if he could have done a couple things. To be fair to him, a couple guys on the dubs couldn't hit shots. He had like 9 potential assists, came up with 2. Other than that, we had some really nice hitters on Sunday. So feeling really good about that. Going to keep it going. So give this video a like and let's get right into everything. For those of y'all interested in jumping in the VIP, still have code Davion, because that's my boy, Davion Mitchell. I don't care. His team's out the playoffs. We're still giving 50% off for the first month for those who want to jump in. Check out the description of the video. Has the link to the VIP section of the Discord there. Goes through WAP.com. Happy to give you guys 50% off to come in, see if you like it, and try it out for yourselves. But let's get into this series, man. Game 1 notes based on some stuff from the regular season. Always want to caveat, we know that the regular season is not the postseason. So take this with a grain of salt. Can't use everything and just use it to move forward in the playoffs. But we do know that Boston owned this Knicks squad 4-0 on the regular season. They won by an average of 16 points per game. And there's why. The second bullet right there. Boston outscored the Knicks by 29 points per game. Not once or twice did they outscore them by a lot from 3. I'm saying from 3-point on average on the season in 4 games, this team averaged 29 more points from the free throw line than the Knicks did. So you automatically go, well, maybe the Knicks did well in other spots. Maybe they dominated down low in the paint. Maybe they got to the free throw line a bunch. Nope, they didn't. That's how you lose by 16 points per game. They were actually even on the free throws there. That's the last bullet there. Free throws 58-58. So dead even through 4 games in terms of the amount made from the free throw line. Tatum, only 1 game that he went under 30 versus them in the 4 games. So he had 30 plus in 3 of 4. And I expect him to continue to have success because he was hunting Brunson. So was Drew Holiday. So was pretty much everybody on Boston, and expect that to continue. And it's not just because they want to exploit one of the worst defenders, the worst defender on the Knicks defense. It's also because if he's more tired on defense, then he's using up energy that he could be using towards offense, and that's only going to help them slow him down. So not looking good here for the Knicks, but I will say still expecting Brunson to have some success on offense because the Celtics are going to let him go one-on-one and do his thing. Looking at the matchups here, this is how the Celtics are going to line up on defense. You're going to have Drew on Brunson. That's going to be true for pretty much the whole game. I mean, occasionally Derek White switches on to him, whatever. There's really not going to be anybody that Brunson can switch on. Like he can sort of force a switch onto him. If it's White, it's not a great matchup. Maybe Jaylen Brown. I guess that's a better matchup, but he's not going to get like really great matchups. They're just going to keep switching and have good defenders on him. Mikal Bridges will be on Derek White, vice versa. That'll be the matchup the whole game. And this is where it gets interesting, is that this team does then take the Celtics take Porzingis. They put him on Josh Hart, and they allow Josh Hart to shoot a little bit more wide open because Porzingis is still trying to guard the paint. So by putting Porzingis on Josh Hart, they're able to make sure that Porzingis stays down low and is able to sort of guard the painted area rather than having to come out to the top of the key and defend Cat up there, where we know Cat's playing in that pick and roll. Then you got Jaylen Brown on Anunoby because you have Tatum on Towns, so that he's involved in the pick and roll defense. He's able to hang with Towns. I mean, that's the benefit of Jason Tatum. You have a freak, once in a generation player who's 6'10" or so, and it can guard guys bigger than him, can guard guys smaller than him, and is pretty unguardable by most guys in the NBA. On the other side of the ball here, Brunson on Drew, same stuff. It's pretty much just status quo for the Knicks on defense. Anunoby gets left on an island with JT too often, and Tatum is also looking for Brunson. Like we said, he's just going to keep finding the matchups he likes. I don't really have a path to victory for the Knicks in this series, as you can tell, like the Celtics, to keep wiping the floor with New York. As always, going to be using Props Madness here on the show. #1 sports betting research tool for all things props. If you do want to jump in on Props Madness as I'm using this, definitely check it out. Ask me any questions you have. You can use code LYB. That'll get you 25% off on your first month. And then you can also get 7 free days. Trial it out before you ever get into the monthly subscription if you are interested in using that. Plan on using that in the live show tomorrow. I don't have a time exactly yet, but I had a great time with y'all on Sunday for that live show and want to get back into it for both of these series games tomorrow for both this one, and we'll be going over Nuggets and the Thunder as well, game 1. So hope to see y'all there tomorrow. Stay tuned. I'll have the update on when that show's going to be going live tomorrow. But kicking it off with Tatum here, I'm not going to overcomplicate this, man. I like his points more than anything against this team. You can see the 33.5 that he's averaging on his team. I mistakenly said 27 in the last segment. 33.5 per game versus New York, over in 3 of 4, obviously. So these numbers add up to him at about 30 a game versus this team in normal minutes. In fact, in the first game, he shot so well, he only needed 30 minutes to get his 37 points against this team. The key is the field goal attempts against them. He's going to keep shooting. We know he did that in the postseason so far as well. He's at 21.5 shots per game when he goes up against this team. If we give him on the season about 22, 23 shots on average, let's give him 20 to 24 free attempts from the field per game. See what he does when he plays with and shoots about 22 times per game. He's at about 28 points per game, right? He's over the 27.5 points in 58% of them. Really nice hit rate there. And if you go up to 30 plus, he's still hitting this at a 30, basically almost a 50% hit rate, right? In terms of 30 plus points when he takes about 22 shots. 45% hit rate, but we're getting about plus 170. Really makes it nicely worth it. And I think he wants to come out and just set the tone with the points in this series. The thing that scares me a little bit about the boards is that if he is guarding Cat, it's actually really hard. He's considered more of a center in this situation. And if he's guarding Cat, right, and he's considered a center, well, the Knicks are really good at limiting rebounds to centers, in part because Cat's a very good rebounder, and also because Cat is also oftentimes playing out by the 3-point line, right? So it's really hard for centers to get boards in this against this team. So I don't like the rebounds as much. Normally I would be looking at this, but he's guarding a main ball, like primary scorer and shot taker for the Knicks. If he's guarding Karl Anthony Towns, that really doesn't put him in as good a position for the boards. Let's see what happens in game 1. They might come out and not have him on Cat right away because they do want him to play a little bit more free safety. But based on what we saw in the regular season, we can bank on Tatum spending a good amount of time guarding Cat. And as a result, the rebounds really come down in how worth it they are for us. The other guy I got to look at here on the Celtics is Jrue Holiday. So you look at his head-to-head stuff, 3 games that he's played against them, cleanly going over 8.5 points in all of these. And we're definitely getting sort of a deflated Jrue Holiday line here at 8.5 points, something that we can probably take advantage of. He's 11 points per game on the season. And versus this team, he had at least 14 in all 3, right? And actually got 15 plus in the other 2. So why is that? Well, he's being guarded by Jalen Brunson. And I mentioned that at the top when we were going over matchups, that this is a guy that I'd like to exploit in this series in general because he's going to have the easiest matchup. So not only is he going to be sort of not necessarily open, but not only is he going to be a good option for them because he's got the worst defender on him, he's also a good option for them because they're going to keep getting him into the pick and roll. If they have Jason Tatum on ball and Jrue Holiday is being guarded by Jalen Brunson, then they're going to run Jrue Holiday and have him screen for Tatum so that if they switch, then Brunson is now on Tatum. If they don't switch, Tatum's probably going to have an easy lane to the basket. So they're going to keep Jrue involved in the action, maybe more than they normally would, where you expect him to stand out in the corner and wait for the ball to come to him. If Brunson's on him, he's going to keep getting involved. So we're going to take this low line for Jrue. Should be at least like 9.5, maybe 10.5. I think him to get 10 plus points in this game is going to be a good look. And look, if he gets the customary 14 or so that he scores against this squad, this is going to start going up throughout the rest of the series right here. The guy on the other side that's kind of similar to Jrue from the standpoint that he might get some easy buckets is going to be Josh Hart. And the reason that I look at his numbers and go back and see why has he done well against this team, right? He shot really well here, plus got 6 free throws in the first game when we throw this first game out anyway, because he played 25 minutes. They lost by 23. This game was never close. Second game, 38 minutes, 16 shots. Next game, 14 shots. Even in the game that he did not get over 10 points, he had 14 shots. Once again, versus this team, he shot really horribly, only got 1 free throw. Bit of an anomaly for him. But most importantly for Josh Hart, he's taking an increased amount of shots, which is what we kind of talked about at the top when we showed you that Kristaps is guarding Josh Hart, which does in turn lead to more Josh Hart field goals because he's being left open. That's the guy that the Celtics are choosing to leave a little bit more open so that Kristaps can sort of stay home near the basket, not go out and chase a really good 3-point shooter like Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby or even Karl Towns. He doesn't want to have to go out there and guard those guys on the 3-point line so that he's home to stay and protect the rim. That leaves Josh Hart a little bit more open, a little bit more available to get into transition because the guy that's guarding him is Kristaps Porzingis. I also don't think this is going to be a Karl Towns series by any means. I'll be fading him a good amount. I think 20.5 points is probably a good fade for him as well. When he's played this team head to head, he had 2 good games. One of those was missing Kristaps. A couple of them were actually missing Kristaps, and he still didn't do that well. Obviously, the beginning of the season was a little bit different for him as he was sort of getting his rhythm. They were getting slaughtered in both of the first 2 games, so he really wasn't playing much. Second game comes back, has better numbers for sure, and got a lot more involved in the offense with 25% usage rate here in April. But I'm banking on him not doing well, so I'm going to Jalen. And look, Jalen for me, like he would, if you look at the games head to head, he would have had probably 30 points in a couple of these if things didn't get out of control. Game 1, 25 minutes, but he had 22 points, right? And we talk about this with Boston all season. They are really bad limiting pick and roll ball handler points, right? They're 24th limiting points to the guy who's the ball handler when the other team runs a pick and roll play. The reason is they don't switch. They let that guy go one-on-one. You can see an isolation here. 3rd worst defense, giving up points to the isolation play. Why? Because they don't double, right? They let guys go one-on-one in the ISO. And if you're a good enough offensive player like Jalen Brunson is, then one-on-one with almost every defender in the league is going to lead to a lot more points and a lot more shot attempts, no matter what. If you look at the under here, he had 22 in 38 minutes. Really poor shooting from the field, 9 for 19. Also lost by 13 points. Going to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt there. And then when he scored 27 here, another decently poor shooting night for him, 48%, only getting to the free throw line a couple times. I think 25 plus is the look for JB. I hate being like, let's take an alt line and dumb it down, whatever. But the thing is I'm going to parlay this with the Boston Celtics to win. Because when we parlay Brunson to do well with the other team to win in one bet, now we get better odds. We get a negatively correlated parlay that gives us an increase and a little boost to the odds of our bet. So if you put Brunson 25 plus, which is a very low line for him on the 25 points, and you add that with the money line for the Celtics to win, which is like minus 600 or whatever, because they should win, or minus 380 or 400, then you get pretty much even money, right? Pretty much close to plus 100, depending on which book you're using. You might even get some plus money for 25 plus points parlayed with the Celtics to win. That might just be an auto bet because I can see him scoring 25 pretty much every game, and they might win one in this series. All right, don't forget to check back in, maybe subscribe so that you don't miss any of the live shows, because I don't know exactly what time. Things are kind of weird during the day still for me, but I'm happy to get a live show going as soon as I can tomorrow. Looking probably around 3 p.m. Eastern. That's about the time that I'm hoping to get it going. So hope to see y'all there. Make sure you do sub so you don't miss the OKC Denver episode as well. And until I see y'all next, happy betting.